Hi there, welcome to the Yarn and Yarns YouTube channel. My name is Angela and this is day 7 of my 12 cast-ons of Christmas adventure. It's actually New Year's Eve today and we're planning on heading out to the cinema again this afternoon. I am going back to see Aquaman. It will be James's first viewing and my second viewing. So I'm trying to squeeze in a few things this morning before we go. Tomorrow is my last day off work and I've got quite a few things that I want to fit in tomorrow as well, so it's going to be a busy couple of days, I think. Anyway, because I will be out for a big chunk of the day, I have decided today to start another smaller project. So the project that I will be casting on today is something that I purchased the pattern and yarn for at Yarnporium back in November. You may, if you've been watching for a little while, have seen my little Yarnporium vlog where I hopped on the train from Cardiff to London for the day and visited the lovely little festival, Yarnporium in London. I also made a side trip to Loop, and on that trip I picked up at the festival a copy of Making magazine. So this is issue number 1, Flora, and I picked this up at the festival itself from a Yarn Story, which is a lovely local yarn shop in Bath. If you're ever in the area, I can highly recommend a trip to a Yarn Story. And from this book I have decided to make a pattern called the Violet Cap. There's a few different pictures of the violet cap. So there is the main picture. There's a gorgeous picture on the previous page of it styled along with one of the cardigans that are in this issue. Doesn't that match beautifully with her lovely linen top there? And that contrasts gorgeously with that mustard cardigan. The cardigan, for anyone who is interested, is called the Marigold Cardi. Anyway, I will not be casting on the Marigold Cardi anytime soon, but I am going to be making this lovely violet cap. There's a couple more views of it there, and I think actually I like these photos better than the one that they chose as the main picture. And when I went to Loop, I decided to pick up a skein of the yarn that is required for the violet cap. The pattern recommends 1 skein of Quince & Company yarn, and Quince & Company is a little bit more difficult to get hold of over here. I know there are a few places that you can get it, but there isn't anywhere sort of particularly near me. I guess I think they sell it at the Yarn Story, so that will probably be my closest if that is true. Don't quote me on that, you'd have to go and have a look on their website. But I knew while I was in London, if I made a little trip to Loop, I'd be able to pick up this yarn. So this yarn is 75% American wool and 25% silk. And I picked a skein in the Tyrian colourway, which is 429. And there are 202 metres, 450 grams on a skein of this. And this is a gorgeous plummy purpley colour. So that is my plans for the day. Sadly, I need some more 4mm needles, but I don't need to worry about that too much. I cast on the smaller size. But yes, I'm going to need to start swapping some needles around, I think. What a pain. I don't think I'll have a ton of knitting time today, so if I manage to get the brim done for this hat, then I will be happy with that as a start to this project. But I am sure I will be back in just a moment to give you an idea of my progress. Hi, I am back to show you my progress on the project that I cast on yesterday. I'm keeping this project in a bag that I made earlier in 2018. It's 2019 now, I've got to remember to not say earlier in the year. I had this batik fabric in stash for ages, and it kind of reminds me of moons, planets. I love it, so I had to keep one of these for myself. Just paired it with a purple fabric on the bottom, and I thought the purple went nicely with my Quince & Company 10 yarn, that lovely plummy purple colourway. What do you think? Quite a nice match, isn't it? So, as anticipated, I didn't get a huge amount of knitting time yesterday. We went to the movies to watch Aquaman, which I had already seen, but James hadn't. And actually I really enjoyed it much more the second time. And I think that's a lot to do with our expectations, isn't it? Sometimes we go into things and we have already thought about what that experience is going to be, whether it be a movie or a book or just something that's happening in our lives, and we kind of have this mental expectation of what we think it's going to be, and then we get somewhat discouraged if the thing isn't exactly as we imagined it to be. So I think the second viewing I actually enjoyed much more, because those expectations that I had built up myself were not there, and I just enjoyed it for the fun, actiony, easy watch movie that it really was. And it's quite spectacular, all of the special effects and things. Anyway, this is not movie talk. I am here to talk to you about my violet cap, which I started yesterday, and I managed to get the ribbing done, which is just a garter ribbing and one repeat of the pattern. So here is my progress. It's New Year's Day today. I did manage to stay up till midnight, hence why I actually managed to finish a full pattern repeat. It's a little bit tricky to show you that lovely lace pattern in this dark colour, but I think you can see it somewhat coming through. I love the beautiful rich colour of this purple yarn, but I'm undecided as to whether I'm actually a fan of the yarn as a whole. This is 75% American wool, 25% silk. It's not a sort of smooth, shiny, sheeny silk. I'd definitely say it's a more rustic silk, and it's not the softest in the hand. It's quite, there's nothing wrong with the yarn, don't get me wrong, but I am not sure that I love it enough to kind of think of this as one of my favourites or one of my go-to yarns. I guess I will really make that decision once I have soaked and blocked this hat and worn it a few times. So yeah, not too much to say about this. I am actually knitting on DPNs, which I know I said in my Granby Mitts video I'm not a massive fan of, but I didn't have, or I couldn't find any short tip 4mm needles for my interchangeables, and for a 40cm cable you need the short tips really to get a manageable space for the number of stitches you need for a hat. I find that if I have the long needles, I'm forever trying to sort of squish them round and manipulate them. I know I've got some short tips somewhere. I guess they're probably on another project. If I was going to guess, I'd say they're probably on my Ragnar shrug, which is a project I started back in September last year that hasn't seen the light of day for a while. But as I had limited time yesterday, I didn't want to spend half of it rooting through bags to try and find needles. So I'm on double points. I don't think the laddering that I usually experience on double points is going to be a massive issue for this hat because of the lacy pattern. I just don't think there's going to be a ladder in the same sense that you get sometimes, more obviously when you're doing something in stocking stitch. I've got a lovely butterfly stitch marker keeping the beginning of my round. I don't know if you can see that. And I thought that was quite a nice, delicate kind of marker for this lovely lacy project. I need to do, I think, 5 and a bit repeats of the pattern chart. I've done 1 complete repeat of the chart, so before I start the crown decreases. So yeah, I think it will be a nice one to come back to. And as I say, I love this beautiful rich purple colour. I'm looking forward to having it to wear so that I can actually decide whether I really like this yarn or not. As I say, I'm on the fence about it at the moment. But I'm glad that I'm in a position to be able to try these things. And yeah, time will tell. Time will tell. Okay, so I think that will wrap up this video for the violet cap. It's my last day today of not working, so back to work tomorrow. I've got a couple more videos that I'd like to record this morning. It's a really lovely, bright blue skies day out there. I opened the door to let the cat out and it's freezing though, so hopefully we will venture out and maybe have a quick walk, but I wouldn't imagine we're going to be outside too long. So the progress, this is the last day that I'll be able to make any sort of significant progress on any of my daily cast-ons. So I think I'm going to cast on one of the, I've got 2 larger projects left, so I think I'm going to cast on one of the larger projects today. So yeah, I'm off to get everything together for that, and you'll find out more about that in the next video. Thank you for joining me today, and hopefully I will see you again soon. Until next time, great big woolly hugs to you all. Bye for now.